Hello everyone and welcome to Arena Aftermath, your weekly recap show of the SWC 2019. Today we're going to be going over Group Stage B that concluded last Saturday. My name is Evan and I'm joined by my boys, Stoic and Making a Bud. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing excellent.
Good. Glad to have you guys here with me. So real quick before we get into it, let's take a look at the results of Group Stage B. We saw that Tree took a win in Match 1 against Fideo Lopez. Match 2 was taken by Jalen too, and then Tree secured his second win in winner's bracket, and we'll be seeing more of Tree on August 31st at the America's Cup. Fideo Lopez took the win in loser's bracket, but Jalen too swooped in and got the low seed for the America's Cup. We saw in Group A that Dreams Joseph and Thompson were our first two placements for the America's Cup, and now they're joined by Tree and Jalen too from Group B. Group C and D are happening, so be sure to come to twitch.tv/ComeToUsUSA to watch your favorite matches. And let's actually take a look globally. So make it a bud. What do you think of Europe Cup so far?
I think Euro Cup is filled with lots of great players here. We see Rothith and Shen moving on from Group A. Shen went very far in the European tournament. He actually went to finals in Korea.
That's right.
And Rothith, very smart player, has a ragdoll, very well-runed units, is a guildmate of Obabos on Group D that you see there. And Group B, you have C Shizo with the Gianna play there. Again, I think he finished top 10 in Season 9 for World Arena, so very strong player on that side of the field. At the same time, Group C and D also have some hard hitters. You have Dark Royd, he's a very high-ranked RTA player, and Vlipity, a well-known European player. Blue, I've also seen him up on the ladder a lot. And of course, you have Obabo, who streams very frequently. Good plays, does not own either Ganny Hathor, but has come a long way without either of those units.
And DGP was actually there last year next to Shen as well.
Very strong lineups.
That's right. And here comes a quick look at the Asia Pacific Cup thus far with their group stages. Seeing Beat D at the top there.
Beat D is your world champion from last year. Clear favorite in that group, but you also have Ose, a Yan Hong, and I believe Ragdoll. So Ose, very strong opponent with good L&D units. At the same time, Group B, you have Matsu, who did go to last year's World Final, and UT player, UT10 from Japan with a very strong Yan Hong play, Ganny Hathor type control. But Judas, to note, in Group C does have that Ragdoll, and I think one other L&D unit, possibly an Artemel, as Stoic has noted.
Yep.
And Group D, you have Llama, the World Finals runner-up. He lost to BD in the finals last year, so very strong player. I think Stanley, also a Gianna user out of Taiwan, Hong Kong region. Very smart player, very stacked lineup. I really think Asia Pacific Cup is going to be a lot of control going on.
So many name drops in this, for real. Like, this is just going to be absolute fireworks show right here.
It's hard. Every group has hard hitters. There is no walk in the park there.
BD, Matsu, Llama, all those names. Thank you guys so much for the look at what's going on in SWC on a global scale. But we saw some pretty phenomenal stuff on Saturday during Group B. I don't think it'd be hyperbole to say that that was actually my favorite tournament thus far in the America's Cup. We're just about to have some interviews with our two winners, Tree and JLN2. So let's go ahead and see those interviews right now. All right, everyone, we're just about to start the interview segment with the two winners from Group B. But before that, let's take a quick look at a highlight reel from the competitors that moved on to the America's Cup.
Tree locked in that Ganny Hathor and then took a Leo in, almost losing that Leo. Fideo Lopez getting that violent proc on that rogue, downing the Leo here, but unfortunately wasn't able to close out. And then Tree just using that Diana to great effect here, taking out that very squishy like cowgirl.
Tree did a fantastic job dealing with Fideo Lopez. And as awkward as a Leo draft may be, it was incredible to see Leo go in there and pull off one of the first ignore defenses we've seen in SWC.
There's a lot of threat from the Leo too, because that torrent is a giant torrent whenever it's up. And then finally, we saw that Julien. We had never seen that light vampire coming out from Tree. It's very interesting to see that, and basically just started soloing units off the bat. We see it taking out this Odin here, just totally dominant. And then we see here Tree versus Jalen 2. Again, taking units we've never seen before, taking that Rika Ganny and just using Rika to just dot up the enemy team and stun them and control them throughout the game.
That's right. Now that Rika draft's really taking advantage of the enemy there because he was not prepared. So drafting that Rika late like he did really put him in a situation where he was forced to either deal with that Rika or deal with the Ada, and he chose to ban out the Ada in that situation. Probably the right thing to do, but man, you really took care of him there, and he was not prepared for that.
That's right. Tree drafted really aggressively and ultimately was rewarded with a couple clean 2-0s and ultimately a high seed placement at the America's Cup. We actually have Tree on the line waiting for us in an interview. Tree, are you ready? Hello. Thank you so much for joining us in an interview. And let me just start off by asking, How did it feel to secure a spot at the America's Cup?
Yes, of course, it's super great, but I want to be a kind of an underdog because there is a lot of pressure.
Well, sir, you are the Season 9 legend, so you're never going to be the underdog.
Now, with that said, what did you do to prepare for Group Stage B?
I actually prepared the better Lopez. I know half over his monster are sweep base. I think it's gonna be a speed race. Who's gonna move first? So that's the reason why I picked the Rio as well. But the thing is, his Rauko just one-shot my Rio, which is 40k HP with a 15.5 defense. So I was super surprised and wow, I made a mistake. I'm not gonna do that.
I don't know how Make It a Bud felt about the Leo.
I was very interested in the Leo pick because he had a Vertihile, Sierra, and Aegir on the field. All three do pretty well into Leo, and I figured, I know you're very fast. I was just interested in that Leo pick and surprised to see that go down on the first game.
To be honest, that's the mistake. I know.
Well, fair enough, but at the same time, I mean, you just played your standard game the next few matches. Do what you normally do what you did to get Legend on Season 9, and, you know, we're able to sweep that up.
And with that said, though, even though it is saying that it was a misplay, I did want to thank you personally from Stoic and I for getting the first Ignore Defense torrent of SWC 2019 America's Cup. That was hype as heck. And I wanted to ask, too, were you afraid of anybody that you were fighting today at Group Stage, or rather during Group Stage B?
Two first, brain memory and the pumps.
So let's talk about America's Cup.
So at the America's Cup, you're most afraid of fighting Faint Memory and Thompson?
Yes.
Interesting. So what are you going to do to prepare for that?
It's not about the afraid. To be honest, I want to meet them, but I'm not afraid of to meet them. I'm more interesting, or I want to meet them.
Tree fears nobody, is what we've learned. He has no fear, but just wants to get to meet other players. He's a very friendly person.
You're one of the top players, and thank you so much for joining us here on the phone. Is there anything else you guys want to ask before we say goodbye to Tree?
Personally, I want to thank Tree for having such fantastic match. Just going in from the prelims, after the prelims, and then into Group B. Thank you for being so entertaining, because every match you've done, you've 2-0'd everyone you've gone against, and it's just been nothing but entertainment, and I'm sure the audience enjoys that as well.
Thank you so much. I like your energy. Thank you so much for awesome commentary.
Oh, dude.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
You're awesome. All right, Tree, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Looking forward to seeing you at America's Cup on August 31st. We'll talk to you later.
Can't wait.
Bye.
See ya.
And now we're about to have an interview with the low seed winner Jalen too, but first let's go ahead and take a look at his highlight reel from last week's group stage.
So we see here that Jalen, who first had his first match against Trakamu here, was actually brought in a lot of very fast units, and I think took Trakamu by surprise when we saw that Hathor outspeed that Tiana, Okeanos, Gianna, none of them being on will, which basically won him the game off the bat there. At the same time, we also saw him fight Tree, and Tree then brought in the Rika against him, probably took him by surprise there. But then so Jalen 2 basically had to go into the loser's bracket and then have to fight his way to have that last match there.
Yep, that's right. I mean, we're going to probably see Jalen 2 going up against Trakamu soon, unless we already saw that. But I mean, Fidel, oh, there we go. Jalen 2 versus Fidel Lopez. There we go. And Fidel 2 maybe didn't do so well in those second matches as well, but Jalen 2 was able to beat Fidel Lopez with those other 2 matches, controlling with the Gani Hathor.
And we saw that Gani Hathor come out, and once that was online, basically the game was over. He just had to execute it.
Jalen 2 had such a great show at the tournament, really fun to watch, and I think he's on the line with us right now. Jalen 2, are you there?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, it's good to hear from you. So first of all, congratulations on making it to America's Cup. How does it feel to secure a spot?
It's a new feeling. I didn't think playing Summoners War I was going to be able to attend any of these tournaments, so it's a pretty cool feeling.
That's awesome. That's the dream, right?
You get to meet fans at the end of August. Everyone cheering for him and rooting him on.
Once you're there at the event, surrounded by all these players, everyone sharing that same love.
Chanting your name up there.
Yeah,
you're going to have
chanting your
fans.
name.
When you were preparing for Group Stage B, what did you do?
Well, the first thing I try and do is see if I can get my hands on like any of their replays, sort of just studying their strategies and how they speed tune their units and trying to see where my units fit in, and then just sort of tracking it in like a spreadsheet.
That's dope.
Very diligent.
You're doing your homework. I love it. What was your toughest matchup of Group Stage B?
The toughest one was probably Trocamu. That was a really close one. It could have swung either way, and luckily I got through.
So now, is there anybody that you're looking forward to fighting at the America's Cup on August 31st?
Ooh, I'd want a rematch with Tree. So
Nice.
hopefully this time I don't mess up the draft.
It happens, right? And especially up on a stage where like every decision matters and there's a lot of stress. So people understand that sort of thing. And ultimately, it worked out in your favor. You came back up through the losers bracket and made it to the America's Cup. You had a really long journey over there.
You probably did your homework and knew that they didn't have the Gani Hathor, so I think you were able to work that draft very effectively.
And it's always nice to see a fellow ragdoll owner do well in the tournament, so it's really great to see you move on.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. We'll see you at the America's Cup.
See you guys there.
Wow, it was great to hear from Tree and Jalen too. We saw some really impressive plays last Saturday at the Group Stage B, and now we're going to send it over to Make It a Bud so he can tell us a little bit more about our Monster MVP in this week's Monster Minute. Take it away, Make It a Bud.
Thank you, Evan. We're talking about Ganymede. Ganymede, one of the most overpowered and very favored monsters in this matchup. The third skill with the Sealed Magic basically resets the cooldown of any monster and the attack bars of any other monster in the opposing team that does not have will. It is a very big change of tempo and allows your entire team to move again in front of the other team. That is a very strong skill. And on top of it, Ganymede also has a second skill, Ventilate, which refreshes cooldowns of an ally teammate. So in that example, we see Ganymede refreshes the Rika. So Rika has two very impressive skills with that skill 2 of stunning the entire enemy team, skill 3 applying a lot of dots and a lot of slow debuffs. You get to do it twice with the Ganymede. So that's very threatening. And at the same time, don't forget Ganymede also has skill 1, the ability to put glancing. So it's very good into ponies, where ponies cannot transform after they have glancing because they cannot crit reliably. And at the same time, also impressive when you put it onto water monkeys, eggers, because they do a lot less damage. They glance a lot more, they can't stun as often. So all 3 abilities useful, and they're on low cooldowns. Ganymede's typically built on Violent Will at a very fast pace. So typically at the G3 level, you'll see them around 270 to 290 range. If they get faster, you don't necessarily have to have them on Will, but it allows you to take extra turns and get to your cooldowns again a lot faster. So Ganymede definitely favored early in the draft because it synergizes with so many units of your lineup, and that's why you can take the Ganymede first and then fill out your comp with the appropriate other supporting unit. So very impressive in lineups, and that's why a lot of players favor it so early.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Make It a Bud. And now we're going to have Stoic walk us through one of our favorite highlights from Group Stage B. Stoic, take it away for this week's Battle Breakdown.
That's right, we're gonna have Fidel Lopez and Jalen too, and this was that second match between the two of them. So now Wusa was never able to get that shield and immunity up on his team. Now knowing that, not getting that immunity net shield up means the Daft is not gonna defense break and then be able to snipe him. The branding effect is on the light cowgirl, so Jalen too definitely took a chance going for that light cowgirl and finishing it off with that hellfire. The branding effect was enough. Now the threat assessment with JLN 2, he goes in and he starts taking care of what he thinks is the next threat, and that's going to be the Odin. So the reset comes out on the Odin. Odin does not have its passive up, and lacking that passive, if he dies, he is not going to get revived up due to the knowledge that he has stacked on him right now. You can see JLN 2 is trying to stop that Verti heal, so the Verti heal wouldn't get any turns with the first skill stun coming from Water Monkey King. Now Odin with 4 stacks should have been able to deal a little bit of damage, but we actually didn't see incredible damage coming from this Odin. Fidel Lopez doing what he could to keep units back, but it just wasn't able to pay off. We should have saw so much more damage coming from a 4-stack Odin, but we did not see much coming from him. JLN2 is going to continue focusing down Odin, and then after he removes this damage threat, it does not look good for Fidel Lopez. You're going to see this Water Monkey coming in with a 3rd skill to finish off Fidel Lopez, and that's when he realizes that he does not have enough damage to keep moving forward here.
Thank you, Stoic, for that awesome breakdown. And finally, we've arrived at our last segment, where I have 60 seconds to summon it all up. So Tree got a couple great 2-0s that took him all the way through winner's bracket, and he also brought a Leo, giving us our first Ignore Defense torrent of the entire SWC 2019 America's Cup. Fideo Lopez ended up knocking out Trakamu, which unfortunately is a slight loss for Say Swag again, and I know it disappointed Stoic to a huge degree. Fideo Lopez got an amazing round 1 win against Jalen 2 by bringing in a Raok. I never stopped loving seeing that Raok early on. Got a great cleave against him, but Jalen 2 didn't let it happen again, and he was able to clean up and secure the low seed placement for the America's Cup, meaning that now Tree and Jalen 2 are going to be joining Thompson and Dreams Joseph at the America's Cup on August 31st. Time with an easy 13 seconds left to spare.
That's how you wrap it
Yeah,
up.
that's it right there. That's how you summon it up. Okay, guys, so now looking ahead a little bit, who do you think is going to be winning in Group C?
I mean, in Group C, there's some big names. I mean, you've got Barian and you've got Tiger in there. Not to say Silent and Roman Fury aren't big names, because I'm on there. Are SSA names in there.
They are your guildies. You do got to support your guildies. But Tiger is a guildie of mine too, so we'll see how they compare and how they stack up against each other.
Yeah, good luck to that malicious member. I mean, he
Good
is
luck to Tiger.
outnumbered, though, I will say.
2-1.
That's right. Guys, one thing to keep in mind as well, by the time that this tournament is over and this Arena Aftermath has aired, the tickets for the America's Cup will be on sale. So make sure that you get one right away, because demand is high, but supply is limited. So if you know anybody that wants to, just secure a ticket for them, and you can find the link to purchase on our social media pages, which I'm sure I've got linked in the description. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today on the Arena Aftermath. It has been awesome getting the chance to review the tournament with both of you.
Always been a pleasure, man.
Likewise.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you all next week for recap of Group C.